Now record. Okay, let's assume that I'm recording now. All right. Okay, so we are going to have these two folders, sales and SMS. Hopefully, we all have those two folders, and inside each we have this script that generates the data for us. Okay. For the sales, if you notice, like I was saying, if you are encountering issue using this faker, I did not use it to generate the data. So you can just delete the line and then remove line 5 as well. And you have, let me see, you just have a function that generates random dates. And then you have another function that uh, generate random data and write it to a CSV file. The data is a some sort of sales data for transactions. You have transaction ID, you have product, you have price, quantity, date, customer age, gender, customer region. So we are going to loop 3,000 times and generate random prices, random quantities, random date, random age, random gender between these ones that we've given. So for example, for the product, during each iteration is going to randomly pick between these products. So either product A or product B or product C, and then generate a random price for that product between 10 and 7,000, and then generate a random quantity between 1 and 40, and then generate a random date. Now, the random date is what we have here that just generates a bunch of dates from, let me see, it's between, okay, it doesn't have space. Okay, for our date, it has start and end dates between 2021 and 2024. So it's going to generate random date between those years and add it up. Now, let me try to run the script. I'm going to navigate inside sales and Python gen.py, and you will see I have a CSV file that has been generated for sales data. And if you take a look at the CSV file, it has the headers, transaction ID, product, price, quantity, and you have about 3,000 rows of data. I think I showed you people this the last time, right? It has 3,000 rows of data, and this is what we will be analyzing. Now it's a CSV file, so you can preview. It's like an Excel, something like this. That's the data we have to work on. And then for the school management or for the grade system, we also have a gen.py, and it's doing the same thing, generating random student IDs, generating random course IDs, generating random courses. For each of the course, it gives it a unique ID, generating students about, let me see, we have 500 students, 10 courses, and then generate grades for each of these courses. It means that the total number of grades that will be generated will be 500 times 10. That's 5,000 grades, because one student is going to have at least 10 grades for the 10 courses. So if one student has 10 grades for 10 courses, then 500 students are going to have 500 times 10, which is going to be 5,000 grades. And then at the end, it generates this data and stores it to these files, courses or CSV, students or CSV, grades or CSV. I want to make sure that I have a good structure, so I'm going to put this inside data. So all the CSV files will be inside data, and data, something like that. Let me try to generate that now and see. SMS. Let me see. Python gen.py. Okay. I don't have the data folder, so I'm going to create a folder here called data and do that job there. Okay, so data set generated. Now if I open the data, I have three CSV file. then courses, right? Course ID, the name of the course, and the credit. Then I have grades for the students. Of course, students, there are 500 students, like I said. If I scroll down, you're going to see 500 students. They don't have real names. It's just some student ID, and then the student name is student underscore or student ID. That's just the name that I randomly generated. It's not a string. So you have 500 students, 10 courses, and grade is 5,000 rows of grades. That is what we have. That is the data we are supposed to work on. This was the setup that you were supposed to do. You're supposed to run this gen.py for each of the folders to generate the data for us. Okay. Now, I hope you people are currently there with your computers. What I want you to do is to make sure that let me see, move the courses, grades, student or CSV that was generated, create a folder called data and push the CSV files inside so that we can start. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody though. I last time I just we had a meeting that I was telling you people how to set the project up before we start. Is everybody in line? Becky, Becky,
Yes, sir.
are you following up? Do we all have that?
So please let's go ahead. Still setting mine up.
No, there's no going ahead if some people have not set up. Oh, you are still setting your computer.
Yes, sir. I'm setting my computer. I've been trying to download the extensions for Python in my VS Code, and they network is not the best. Yeah, okay.
Ah, okay. You set it up then. Dockers, Josiane, Jenny's, Albright, everything is fine, right?
So everything is fine for me.
Please, you people indicate, let me know if we should continue. Is today Friday? Is it a tiring Friday? You know, writing messages like that, I like when people talk. Oh. Who is not in the house? A question is, if you are not in the house, where are you? Dockers, where are you?
So if ever has not come to class today,
They will join. I think they will join soon. Marilyn, good evening and welcome. Then what's up? Why are people not talking? People are afraid I'll tell you to teach. Good evening, miss. You're welcome.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. And you?
Fine too. A
Okay.
little bit.
A little tired or what? Stressed?
Just because it's Friday.
Oh yeah, I know. It's Friday. Okay. Sorry about that. Please, what do people think? Should we continue the class? Because when people are quiet like this, it won't work.
No, we should continue the class.
Thank you, Marilyn. We should continue, right? And then for the others, should we continue? Do people think we should?
yes, sir. Should continue.
Janice,
Yes, sir.
What's happening? Are we tired?
So my network is active.
Sorry about that. Okay, so we'll just continue. I can't push the class again. We do not have a class on Wednesday. We're supposed to be rounding up with this. So we will force it, right? Yes, we're going to force it. So Josiane, you say you are not in line. What's up? Do you have any issue? Was
So,
Do you hear my question?
so I think his neighbor he's able to download it to my VS Code.
Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, make sure you have downloaded those two folders. You have your gen.py in each of them, and then you run the gen.py. It's going to generate the data for you. That's all that we need. Okay. Once you have that, we can start. And I don't want to start when you people have not done it. This is not teaching. We are supposed to work. Yes, patience.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, miss.
Please, the first gen data is not running on my machine.
Okay. It's saying something related to Faker, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Delete this line. Let me see. So there is a line in. I don't even know which of them was having the Faker. Is it the one inside SMS or the one inside sales?
The one inside sales.
Okay. So just delete the two lines that have Faker. There's one that says from Faker, import Faker. Delete that line, and then also delete the line that says fake is equal to Faker. Okay. So I
Okay,
think
sir.
uh
Okay.
yeah, just do that. It was something like from
All right. Thank
Faker
you.
import. So you are supposed to delete this line because you don't have that library. But if you wanted to test the library, you will just run pip install Faker like that, and that's going to install the library to your computer. But since we are not using it, don't install that yet. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Uh, Marilyn, did you set it up?
Yeah.
Did you set the project up? Did you download the project that we pushed?
Uh, can you repeat again? I don't understand. I download the project and I have to read it. And
Okay. Did you download this folder?
do you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. Probably come again.
I don't. I download this folder.
Wow, network is breaking. Okay, right on the chat section.
Okay. Okay.
So if you have not downloaded, make sure to let me share it again. Let's see. Share, copy link. Oh, network. Okay. So I'm going to just send it again on WhatsApp for those who have not downloaded. Uh, make general. Stuff is refusing to download. I forwarded somebody those files. Who did I forward the files to?
So let me send it to the group. I downloaded.
Yeah, please send it. Yeah, okay, Marilyn. After downloading, did you run the 2gen.py? Did you run this file? Like, did you run it to generate this data?
Not yet.
Okay, if you did not, just come to this file, then click on run to run it so that you have this data set. Do the same for the other one. Alright, tag which of them is supposed to be inside sales and which of them is supposed to be inside SMS. All right, let's I think we should go ahead. So Josiane, I'm sure you have that now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So okay, let's try to take a look at the project. So the school management system project aims to develop a Python-based system for analyzing student, course, and grade data. The system facilitates loading data from CSV file, conducting various analyses on data, and generating comprehensive reports. And the objective is to be able to load the data and analyze it, calculate class averages for each course, identify top performing students, and generate performance report, exporting it to a CSV file or something. Now, according to our project setup, we are supposed to have probably a folder called School Management System. I just short named it to SMS. That's what I made here. So this folder called SMS, that's what we have. And then inside we have to create subdirectory named data, right? So we create a subdirectory named data. So come inside SMS, click create folder, and then create a folder called data. I already have that. Now, inside the data, initially there will be nothing. Okay, there's going to be nothing inside the data. Yeah, I want us to follow that. So what I'm saying you should be doing, I guess. So you have the data, and then inside the data, create three CSV files. We are not going to create these files. We are going to generate it. That means after creating this folder called data, come inside this gen.py and go to the last lines, this write to CSV. You'll see this is what is currently inside your own. Uh, this is what you currently have. So append data in front of each, something like this. Okay, for each of them, just append the data to it so that it will generate these files in the data folder. Right? Are we following up?
So what if you already generated and then just put them in a folder?
Yeah, feel free to do that. You can just move them to the folder. Okay. You can just, if you generated them outside, you can just copy all of them and put inside the folder. It's not a problem. You can still do this and then run the gen.py again so that it generates it and then you delete the other ones. So if I run, let me see, Python gen.py, it generates the data. You see now my data folder has these files: courses, grades, students. I want us to have all that. So that's the setup. Um, that's how we get the data generated. Then after that, we are supposed to now go to the next thing, implementing the grade analyzer service. Now this is going to be a class. Yes? Is that somebody sending a message? Did somebody raise their hand up? Yeah, patience.
So please can you take over? I'm lost.
Yeah, lost. Okay.
Yes, already.
Already. Okay, so what I'm saying is when you download that folder, you have something like this. This is initially what is there, and then you have gen.py inside. Let me delete these things. You have just the gen.py. Ash, what am I doing? Cancel, please. Okay, so this is what you will have: sales, SMS, and then inside each of them you have just the gen.pys, right? Now I want you to we are going to start with the SMS, the school management system, right? So create a new folder inside called data, like this, right? And then go to the gen.py, scroll down to where you have these lines. Your own is not going to have data in front of each of these things. You are just going to have courses.csv, students.csv, grades.csv. Just add data in front of it, data forward slash. Okay. So you're going to replace those lines with these lines that I pasted on WhatsApp. So that now when you come inside the SMS and run the gen.py, it's going to generate the CSV files inside the data folder. That is what I want us to have. Patience, is that okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So when we have that, let's move to the next step. They say we should implement the grade analyzer class or the grade analyzer service. And we start with the services forward slash grade analyzer.py. This means that you are going to have another folder called services. Okay, so that means in your project inside the SMS, you're going to create another folder called services. And then inside, you are now going to have grade analyzer.py. Truth is, I'm not going to share my code with you, so you probably want to be doing it together with me. You people get right? Yes. So it's going to have the grade files, student file, course files, students, courses, grades. That is initial attribute for the grade analyzer service. But where do we put this attribute? It's inside the init method. So according to our project, they said that we have several methods. One of them is the init. That's the first method we are supposed to define. Uh, and I was thinking, who is going to start? Let me see. Collab. I don't know if mine will open. So you are going to write your code here, and then I'm going to update mine because we are going to be working with VS Code. Let me share this collab. Anybody can edit. So there we go. Copy link. Done. So yeah, who is going to start? All right. Can you start by implementing the constructor?
So the init function.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go with the class. According to ours, let me go. According to the project, we are supposed to have a class called grade analyzer with this first method in it. I'm going to implement the class. Let me start by creating the class so that you pick up from there. So we have class uh, grade analyzer.
So please, can you share the collab link to the chat box?
Okay, sure. Let me do that. There you go. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So open that. We have the grade analyzer class. I've created this class. You should continue with the constructor. Have you opened?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have access? Can you see what is there already?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yep. I hope mine is going to be real life. Is it real time? Because so we need a constructor that is going to initialize these first three attributes: the grade file, the student file, and the course files. So this one is just being able to initialize where the files are located so that you can load it. That's the use of this. Then you have three additional attributes here. I don't need to pass them inside the constructor. But first, just implement this constructor with these three attributes. This thing is not as real time as I thought though. Are you already there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm waiting for your code. Or maybe you are going to share your own screen or maybe probably your VS Code or something because Colab is going to be a little slow from what I'm seeing already.
So I'll be typing all the code manually.
No, you start with the constructor, right? And then we continue. The next person will probably share the screen because once you are typing the constructor, the person is supposed to be typing the constructor. When we have to move to the next method, the person continues. Does that make sense?
I don't know, sir.
Okay, so this is it. For example, we are going to start. I'm going to say, okay, grade analyzer class grade analyzer something, and then here I am supposed to implement the constructor, right? Yes, but I want you to implement it. So you go ahead, type the class grade analyzer, implement the constructor while the other people are copying. Then when you are done with that one, the next person who has already copied what you've done will continue with the next thing. Does that make sense now?
Yes, sir.
Or if people think I should type it all, should I be implementing it all? Ladies, you people better talk, please. Please talk.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Should I implement it or we'll continue this way?
We'll continue that way, sir.
Okay. So, who is sharing? Alright, share your screen.
So, I should delete this color.
Just share your screen with your VS Code. Let's keep Google Colab away from now because it's not, like I said, it's not real time like we want. I'll need to be refreshing this thing. Okay.
Yes.
The next person to be preparing. Let me see the next method. Load data. Um, who is going to implement that one? Marilyn. I'm going to implement that one now. Even though that one is a little complex. Let me see. There's none of the method that is pretty straightforward though. So start with the constructor. Have you shared your screen already? Continue.
I guys see my screen.
Yeah, I think I can see. You want to do control plus.
Ha, what is happening?
Okay. Do you like this interface?
Yes, sir.
Really? It's looking as if it's too many lines like that is or what? Continue. So the constructor is taking in the grade file, the student file, and the course file. Yes. And then it's setting the files. Okay. So dev underscore init. Okay. Okay. So that is the constructor, but that is not all. We have to add three more attributes to that constructor. So we are going to have I think the courses, the students, and the grades. Let me see if I have that. So you are going to inside that same constructor, right? You are going to set
Yes.
student. You're going to set students to an empty dictionary, courses to an empty dictionary, grades to an empty list. So that probably means you have self dot students equal empty dictionary
The self the student the
equal
self the student file.
no self dot students. We're talking about students. So the students file that is the name of the file that is storing students, and then there is students that is the actual data that is inside the file. Okay.
Okay, sir. So I need to add
No,
students into the.
there's no need adding that one. You are setting it to an empty dictionary.
Okay, so
Now, when you are working with classes, you cannot say students equal empty dictionary. You say self dot students. Do same for courses and grades. Copy and paste is dealing with somebody.
so just leave me like that.
I'm not holding you now, am I? Okay. So you have students, you have courses, then you have grades. Now the grades is a little bit different because the structure of grades is just a normal list. So self the grades is equal to an empty list instead. Cool. Okay, so that's our constructor for the grade analyzer class, and that's cool. Hopefully, people are copying because okay, that's cool. Save, stop sharing. Let me continue sharing from my end.
Sir, safe.
Stop sharing. Okay. Hopefully, you can see mine, right? I think so. We
Yes,
have
sir.
yeah, we have grade file, course file, student file. We set them, and then we set the grades, the courses, and the students. So self dot students is equal to an empty dictionary. Self dot grades. Grades is a list, and then self dot what's the other one?
Positive.
Courses equal to an empty dictionary as well. So that is the first implementation for the constructor of our grade analyzer. It's supposed to take this file path and load the files. And then when it loads the data from this file, it's going to save them to this empty attributes that we've set here. That's the use of these three attributes. That's the first method. And we're talking about load data. But the load data is going to call one, two, three. Because the load data is supposed to load all the students, all the courses, all the grades. Now, I'll not ask you people to share your screen. I want you people to instead talk because these ones are, like you were saying, or right, like we were saying, it's not a little too straightforward. Let's try to do it. So I'm going to go ahead. You people should follow up though. So I'm going to define a method called def load. How should we call it? Load students is supposed to take in the self because I'm inside this particular class. So load student self, and then what the load student is supposed to do is that it's supposed to open the student's file. Okay, supposed to open the student.csv, grab each of the row and store it inside this dictionary. Okay, that's the use of that load student. So it captures all the data from here and converts it into a dictionary and store it inside the student's dictionary. That's what this is supposed to do. So what we have to do is that here we have to open the CSV file. How do we open a file in Python? Particularly a
We
CSV.
open.
Okay, with open, yes.
bracket open,
Mm-hmm.
the file name in
Okay,
quotes.
good. So the file name, right? If the file was say data forward slash students dot csv, we are not going to explicitly put it here because we already have some part in our constructor that is having the student file. Okay, so what we are going to do is with open self dot student file. Okay, because when we initialize this class, we are going to set the path to where that student file is. So with open self the student file, in which mode? Now we need to specify the mode. You people did file handling. There is read mode, there is append mode, there is write mode. In this case, which mode do you people think we should use? Um, Marilyn, which mode? Which mode? Since we want to open this file to get the data from the file and store it to our students dictionary, which mode do
I
we
think
use? Which mode?
Read.
Okay, so read mode. Good. Because we don't want to do any we don't want to change this file in any way. We just want to read the content. So with open student file in read mode, and then I think there is an as if we want to use how they call that. I've forgotten the name. If we want to use a placeholder for the file that is open, yeah, we want to use a placeholder as let's call it a file with open student file in read mode as file. What should we do? We will use the CSV library to capture the data. Okay, so that means inside here we are going to import the CSV. So probably import CSV. This is an inbuilt library in Python or inbuilt module that has a bunch of things that we can do. So we are going to use the CSV to read the file. That means we can now say that okay, reader is equal to CSV dot reader, I think, and then we pass in the file that we've opened,
And
right? And then now take a look. Our data has some structure. It has a header. So we need to start reading the students, but from this um, line two, not line one. How do we skip the first row? That's another thing. I'm not sure if people were taught that one right.
yes, sir, I'm not sure.
Okay. So if we want, because we want to capture each of these students and store it in the students dictionary, but on storing that, we don't want to add this one inside. Okay. So when reading the file, we have to skip this header. So what we do is we use the next. There is a function called next that literally just moves from this current line to the next line. In so doing, we are no longer on line one, we are now on line two. So we say next reader. We have already skipped the header in this case. We can now start reading the data. Okay. So we can go ahead now and do what? How do we now read each of the line? I think we can use a for loop, right? For row in reader, because we are now reading each row. Okay. So for row in this total file, for row in reader, let's go ahead now and do what? Append it to the students dictionary. So we'll say self dot students. I think at index of, now this is where there's going to be some small shaking. Student, let me see. Student has a student ID, name, and an age. So the the student ID is going to be like the key of our data, okay? And then the name and the age now is going to be the actual data. So we want that at the end, it's going to store in the students like this. Let me show you. Student ID, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 column is going to be a dictionary of name, uh, Andrew, age, say 50 or whatever. This is how we want our data to be stored. The ID is the key, then the actual data is going to be what is inside. So how are we going to do that? We are going to do serve.students. I think at the index of, now we have this row. We can read the first item in the row is the student ID. This one at index of row, and then we have is equal to, now we can open a dictionary and store the name and the age inside. So probably have name, row at index 1. The student has, the next listing is age equal to row at index 2. Now what this does is that it's going to grab each of the row and convert it into a dictionary. How is it going to convert it into a dictionary? This one, let's say row 2 is going to become something like, let me call it this colon, then dictionary open, name is equal to this, comma, age is equal to 21. So that is how our data, what that line that we just wrote, that is how it's going to transform the data in this format. Do you get the point now? Like, that's what we are trying to do here. So for each of the row, we should grab the ID to be the key. Student at index row at index 0 is equal to the name and the age as the value. So that is how we are able to load students. Now, this is going to be the same for load courses and load grades. Who is following up? Or who is already lost when we have not started?
I'm a little bit lost.
Okay.
You need just to read.
All right. Let me come again one more time. So we have that within our constructor, we have initialized a grade file, the course file, and the student file. These are the path where the files will be stored. Then we also have different containers to store the students that will be loaded, the grades that will be loaded, and the course or the courses that will be loaded. The first method that we have is called load student. It's going to grab the data from the student file and convert it into a dictionary and store it inside the students. So that is what we are trying to do here. We open the file in read mode. We use a CSV reader to get the file in that structure. Then we skip the header. All right, that's this. Let me say, skip the header because we don't need the header. Um, the next thing now is we loop through each of these rows in the student's CSV file that we've read. For each of the row, we convert it into a dictionary of this format. A dictionary of this format. The ID will become the key, like the student ID, right? The student ID will become the key. Then the student name and the age will become the value. So name, age, age. That is what we have here. So the ID self student at index of row of 0, like that is the ID of the student. That's the key. Is equal to the values, which is row at index 1 and row at index 2. Row 1, student name, and row 2, sorry, column 1, student name, column 2 student age. So we read the data and save it in that format. Take note of the format. This is the format that we want our data to be stored. Let me even cut this, come here and say, okay, something like this. This is how the data is going to be stored. Okay, that's what we want to do. I don't know if that's okay, Marilyn.
It's clear now. Thanks.
All right. So, can I go ahead now? That means somebody should tell me how to load the courses. Let me show you the structure of the courses. This is the courses. Yeah, this is the courses CSV file. There's course ID, there's course name, and course credit. So, okay. Marilyn, can you now tell me how to load the courses? So I'm going to define the function load courses.
So
And,
Jenny's hand is raised.
oh, sorry. Um, Janice.
So no problem. I just forgot to put it down.
Okay, you wanted to take on the next one.
No,
Is it no? Oh, and you say you don't have a problem.
With open term your courses.
Is somebody talking, please? Dorcas, are you saying something?
No, sir.
Okay. So, Marilyn, can you give me the functionality, like implementation of load courses? I'm listening. Okay. Guess. Uh, Mary, I'm saying that we have implemented load students. You've seen the way it is done. Now, give me the implementation. Like, tell me what to do to load courses.
I think we need to to house to with four, but
Okay,
I don't.
with I don't hear well. Uh, it's slow, eh?
So we'll just do the same thing that we did for
Yeah.
the
Okay,
students
tell
now.
me. Tell me. I don't want to be doing it. Tell me.
So with open in bracket self dot courses course
Serve
file
your this. Which of
course
them?
file.
Okay. In read mode as file. Yes.
Yes sir.
We get the reader
Yes.
and we skip the header and we do the same. Is that so?
Yes sir.
Reader, and then we do a for loop that is going to loop through it and grab the data. That's all. So for row, so you can call it for course or whatever. For course in reader, self the courses at index 0 equal to this. But the courses structure, we have course ID, course name, course credit. How do we want to store the course? It's the same structure, I guess. So let's say self dot courses at index of I think course at index 0 equal to yes. Is that a question or
Yes sir, it's a question.
yes?
So does it mean that if we want to call the course credit before the course name, we are going to put at index of 2 before at index of 1.
Yeah. So if you wanted to have credit, let's say credit, this is going to be credit is the second item, right? Let me show you. Credit is the second. This is column 0, column 1, column 2. So if you wanted to reference the credit, you're going to say courses at index, that's 2, I guess. And then the name now will be courses at index 1, like that. Okay. So it is just the order in which it is here. So if we had, say, something like this, if our data was in this format, like the credits before the what was there though? What was there?
Name.
Because if we had credit before name, now that means that this is course ID is index 0, credits is index 1, and name is index 2 now, right? So it is just the order in which this data is. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So we maintain back our order because I want the name and the credits to be like that. So that is how we load courses. And it goes same for which other one? Grades. Load grades, I think it's going to take in the self and let me see. I think it's the same thing. Eh? All of these things are the same.
So, but the grades have to be stored in a list.
Yes. So what we are going to do is instead of using this approach, we are going to use append. So the grades, let me show you. This grade is going to be a list of dictionaries, literally, because the grade is going to store the student ID, the course ID, and the grade itself. You get?
Okay, sir.
So in this case, now we are going to do the same thing, the reader and all of this. Copy these two lines, paste it here. Then we have a for loop as well. For grade in reader, whatever, now we'll have self.grades.append. Okay, because the grade is a list. So we have the dot append and then we append an entire dictionary of the grades. Let me do it again so you see. So let's say grade dictionary is equal to, we put the grade inside a dictionary. So the grade, let me show you the grade structure. So it has a student ID, a course ID, and a grade. Okay, so that means now that inside here we are going to have uh an in the dictionary we have student ID, student ID to be the grade at index 0 according to our structure. Student ID is what? Grade at index 0. Course ID is grade at index 1. And the actual grade is grade at index 2. That is what we are supposed to have here. So, uh, something like that. So that is how we are going to load. This is the grade that we've done, and then we append it to our grade. So dot append grade dictionary like this. So these three methods now are able to read all the data that is inside these files and then convert it into some data that we can manipulate. Okay, so those are the three methods according to, let's go back to the document. Document says load student, loads the student from the CSV file, load courses, loads the courses from the CSV file, load grades, loads grades from the CSV file, and then load data now is supposed to call all these three methods. Okay, so that means now that before these three methods, we can now have a function here called load data, and it's going to be self, and this one is just going to call all these three methods. So we say self dot load courses serve dot load students. These are all methods though. So, and then the last one is serve dot load grades, like that. So if I call load data, I'm indirectly calling one, two, three. Do people get the point?
Yes, sir.
Lucas, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Patience, are you following up? Hello, patience.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So we have implemented five methods already. It's gradual until we meet one that we cannot implement, then we close the class. Who agrees with me? To the people that are only raising their hand like that, I'm seeing by this document. Okay, so let's go to the next method. They say calculate average. So this is supposed to be class average, and this class average is per course. So for each course, it calculates the average, like the average grades. That's what this method is supposed to do. It's complicated. Let me see. Let's just go there. Def, let's call it class average self. Okay, so this is supposed to, for each of the course, is supposed to look for the grades and calculate the average. That's literally what this one is supposed to do. It's not like that is easy though. Okay, so let me make as if I want to think a bit. Who has an idea?
So my head was blank when I was coming to this class.
Yeah, when your head now is blank, what do you want me to do?
To help us, sir.
To help you. Okay, how can I help you when I don't know either? Okay, so let's see. We want to calculate the class average per course. Ibade. Okay, let's just see. So creating two variables to store the course totals and the grade, the course count. Okay, let me just see. So if I say course total equal to an empty dictionary, and then I have a course count to be an empty dictionary. Then I try iterating over the grades.
So why is your editor giving?
Yeah, I have IntelliSense.
Ah,
It's a senior developer things now.
We'll reach your level one.
That what? You do what?
We'll get to your level one.
Okay now. So I'm going to iterate over the grades. Wow, you see. But truth is I don't understand any of this thing that is suggesting though. So let me iterate over the grade and then let me see. Mm, get the course ID. Let's see. Nobody has an idea on this thing. Somebody talk.
Sir Rose should help us.
Okay now. Let me just see what I have here. I'll not talk. Let me just be doing, and then I'll see if I can explain. So if I have for grade in self.grades, I get the course ID and set it to be grades index of course ID. Then I also get the actual grade itself to be grade at index of grades. Uh, and I have to do some check here. Oh wow. Of course, I did not in course totals. Analysis gone wrong. By the way, let's try to reason this thing up. Class average. So I have to run through. The thing is the fact that we have one, two, three CS before us. So I have to be doing and looking at all. So me getting going through the grades, I have to capture each of the course and then check within the courses table whether that particular course ID is inside and then add up the grade. That's the first thing I'm supposed to do. So I have to sum all the grades and then divide it by the total number. That's the average, right? I think so. Average grade is the sum of all the grades divided by the total number of grades that are there. I think, yep. So course ID, if the course ID is not in course totals, then I have to set course totals to 0 at least. Course totals and index of course ID, set it to 0, and also set the course count itself to 0. And then now I have to add up the grade, which is good. Add up the course count, which is good. This is nice. I do like that and it works. Then people explain it. So this is me trying to group. All right. What I'm literally trying to do here is grouping. So for each of the course, because I'm going through grades, these grades are having um different courses and different grades. So I want to group all the let's say a hist T62, all of them. I have to group all of them and add up their scores. That's literally what I'm doing here. So while I go through the grades, I capture the course ID, I capture the grade, and check if that particular course ID is within the course totals course totals dictionary. If it is not there, I set it to be 0. That means I've not encountered any of them since I started looping. If I already encountered them, I'm going to increment their grade, increment the count by 1. That's literally what we are. I think we've done something similar to this before. It's just that this one is a little complex because we are reading data from a file. So so at the end I have total grade for each of the course, and I have the total number of course. That's what I have here. So now at the end, that is me getting the total. I'm also supposed to now do some computation for each of them, because at the end this is also two dictionaries that I have to look through them and sum up their values. So I'll do another for loop for course ID total in course total dot items true. Do I need to print courses name total course? Uh, So after doing this loop, I'll have two dictionaries of course totals and course count. That is like each of the course and the total grades, and then each of the course and the total number of times that the grade occurs. And then I'll capture this data. Then at the end, I want to loop through each of them and print some statistics, which is not. Hey, God. Who sends me? All right. Okay, let me get the average is equal to total divided by course count with index of course ID. So for each of them, I'm going to get the average and then get that particular course name. Course name is equal to self courses index of course ID index of name. That's going to get the name of the course. Then let me see. I can just go ahead and print out the. Let me just print it out. Course name average. That will be cool. Uh, Hello. Is it what we go through? Doctors,
Yes, sir.
do you see what we go through?
So I was lost things.
That's why I'm saying that. Do you see what we go through?
I'm saying, sir.
Okay. Okay, so now the thing is we want to get the class average, and to get the class average, we want to get class average per course. So what do we need to do? We'll go through the grades, right? We'll have to run through the grades and group these grades according to the course code and then the sum of the grade. So if I am going through this grade, I have to make sure that all his T62 are summed up together. The grades for all of them are summed up together for his T62, for T57, for T54. So I have to group all of them and sum up their grades. And then while trying to group them, I'm also going to count the number of times they occur, because at the end, for me to get the average, I have to take that sum divided by the total number of times that that course is within this grade. So that is what we are trying to do here. We look through the grades, capture the course ID and the grades, and then check if that particular course ID is within the course totals dictionary, because this course totals dictionary is just going to be storing each of the course. Okay, it's just going to be storing each of the distinct courses. So we look through the grades and check if we have already encountered that kind of course before. If we have not encountered that course, then we set that course and set its initial value to 0 and the count to 0. That is if we had not encountered it. If we had encountered it, we just increment the grade because we want to add up all the grades, and then we have to also add up the count. That means the total number of times that we've encountered that particular course. That is what that one is doing here. Then we go to the next one because at the end now, after doing this, we are going to have two dictionaries populated, the course totals and the course count. Each of the course will have a count, like the number of times that that course has a grade in this grades file. Now we have to use these two data to get our average and the course and its average. So we loop through the course totals table. We Because the course totals table is literally going to have the course ID and the grades. Where am I? The course ID and the grade. Remember that when we were loading the data, let me show you. When we're loading the data, this is the structure. Okay. It had a course ID and then it had sorry, this is student. Where's the courses? Okay, it had a course ID, which is the key, and then it had two additional attributes for the values, the name and the credit. Then for the grades table, we also had student ID, we had course ID, and we had the grade. So we want to capture some of this data inside here. So after doing this one, we have some two dictionaries populated. We have to look through those two dictionaries, capture the course ID that was inside the course totals and the total, because the total is the sum, which is this one, and the course ID is the individual course ID that we are looking for. So we loop through the course totals. We get the average by taking the total divided by the count for that particular course. Okay, because this course count, if you look here, our loop is just going back through the course total, but since the course count has a key value pair, we can get it by the course ID. So when we loop through the course totals table and we encounter a particular course, we can just get its count by referencing, because this is like a list where we say that, okay, if this course count was saying that let me see, we have course count something like this. Uh, let's say that's the first course and then its count is 5. Then we have the second course and its count is 7, and so on and so forth. Once we look through the course total and take this course ID, we can just come to the course count table and get its value, because it's like a list that we are accessing an item by uh, it's a dictionary that we're accessing an item by its key. That's what we're trying to do here. So the average is going to be the total divided by the number of times that that course is within the grades table. That's how we will get the average. And that's what we wanted to get. So it's going to look through all the courses and calculate the average for each. Hmm. Is this supposed to be me freezing? Okay, sorry. It's going to look through all the courses and calculate the average for each. I will try to initialize this and run, because this thing is. Let me try to initialize this. How do they create an object in Python? Hopefully, we are not sleeping here. How do they create an object? Oh, God, damn it. Okay, now. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Give me a few seconds. Let me know when you start seeing my screen.
So I see your screen.
Okay, cool. All right. Sorry, my network. Okay, so I was here and I was asking how we create an object in Python. How do I create an object again? If I want to create an object of the grade analyzer class,
Instances of
come again.
instances the class.
Yeah, how do I do that? Give me code, please. It's code that I'm looking for. Analyze
Which class?
analyzer is equal to
The
analyze
name of
the name of the class, right? Something like that. And then now I have to pass in the because this class is it expects at least three arguments. This grade file, this the course file, and the student file. That is what we are supposed to pass in here. So uh data forward slash grade.csv, data forward slash courses.csv, and data forward slash students.csv in this order. Okay. Now, why am I adding data? Because if you look at my project structure, it has this data in front of it. And by the way, if I'm inside the grade analyzer class, I have to go one directory backward. So majority of this thing will have something like this: one directory backwards and something like that. I just want to run this class and see something, please. Now I'm going to say analyzer dot load data because I want it to load the data, and I'm going to say analyzer dot class average like that. So I just want to test it. We have not even gone anywhere though, but let me make sure that I'm on track. Python, let me go inside services. Python grade analyzer dot py, and I am having an error. Serve.student online 21. I think I know where the error is coming from. Serve.students. What was that? This is supposed to be students with an S. Run it again, and here we have. So if you take a look at this now, for each of the course, it has given me the class average. Okay, remember how many grades are there? There are 5,000 grades, like 5,000 rows of grades. And this method, class average, has gone through all of those 5,000 grades, grouped them according to courses, summed up their grades, and calculated the average. And that is what we have here. Okay. So to make sure that this is not some static data, if I try to generate this data again, clear uh, data python gen.py. Let's see. SMS data gen.py python gen.py. Whoa. I want to regenerate the data and run the analysis again. So it has regenerated the data. I just wanted to do that and then enter services and run the analysis again and see. You see, the data is changing. Now, according to our grade, it had a range. So that's why you see majority of the averages is between 75 and 74, but it's actually working. Okay, so if you were to use your calculator, you were to use your calculator to go through these 5,000 students, group them, and get their class averages, well, you know how long that was going to take. But we've written an analyzer class, loads the grades, loads the students, loads the courses, and then gets the class average for those courses. This is one of the very strong methods that I know is giving you headache, but I would like you people to try to go through it again. So the goal, like the how they call it, the main idea behind getting the class average is that this is a grade file, a bunch of grades. You want to go through each of the grades and group them according to courses. That's the first thing. After grouping them according to courses, what do you want to do? You should sum up the grades, okay, for each of the course. And then to get the average for those grades for a course, you do what? You divide it by the total number of grades that way for that course. Do you people get it? The idea, not the code. Do you get the
Yes,
idea behind the class average thing?
Yes,
yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes. So that is literally what this thing is trying to do. It can be looking a little complex. Your approach might be that you want to first of all create different dictionaries. That could be another approach. Create different dictionaries for each of the course and store its grades inside. Then at the end, you can now analyze each of those dictionaries. That will still work. I think that's a basic approach that could go, but that's a very long code. Like you go through these grades. If you encounter any grade that was specific to a particular dictionary, you push it to that dictionary. You encounter any other one that was not there and did not yet exist, you create a new dictionary and store it inside. At the end, if there were 10 courses, you're going to have 10 different dictionaries having the grades for the courses. Okay. And then at the end, now you can now do, I don't know how you're going to look through the 10 dictionaries and do the analysis. But that's a simpler approach, but longer. Okay. Yeah. So that's a class average thing. Do people think we should go to the next method? You're going to blow some people's head now and that. Please, if you have a question, feel free to ask though. Let me make sure that Becky is not sleeping. Becky is sleeping though.
So I'm not sleeping.
Patience, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Okay. There and lost in class average already.
But
Marilyn.
I don't know.
Yes. No.
Marilyn, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, nice, nice. We have class average. Can somebody try top student? Who wants to try top student? The top students, it identifies and display the top performing student for each course. Yeah. Why are these things complex like that? I don't know that this is how it was going to be. Maybe I would have given it like an assignment.
Yes, sir. I want to key us.
Ah, if I gave it as an assignment, maybe, you know, it would have been easier. Uh, top student too is another thing. Yo, Anybody has an idea on top students? It's almost similar to the class average thing, but not entirely too similar. Dennis, why are you laughing us? Hey Janice, why are you laughing at us?
So, so you were suggesting that you're giving it to assignment and
If
you're
I
still saying that it's complex.
Yes, now if I gave it as an assignment, people will have done research, and I'll not be trying to crack my head here.
So this information is just
Yeah, those who want to do data analysis. God of Abraham. Okay, now. Okay, so they say we should do top students, and our top student thing is supposed to identify and display the top performing students for each course. For each course. If I knew that this thing would be like this, I would have sent Mr. Buffon to come and do to come and do it. What do people think? Yes, or call Dorcas to prepare for it. Let me come, please. Okay, so def top students. What's this one doing? Post change. No, so that this method calculates the top performing students per course. Yeah, that's what this method is supposed to do. So somebody should start giving me code, because right now, okay. So first thing I always like to do, especially in these cases, is usually to define a dictionary that is going to store my top students. Whether that's even an approachable top students equal to an empty dictionary. Then now I need to know, do I need to go back through the grades, or do I need to go back through the students? If I go through the student, what's the use? I don't think there's a use for me looping through the students as of now. If I go through the courses, I don't think there's any need for me to go through the courses, because um, the top performing students will be coming from from their grades actually. So I have to look through this, get the students, be updating the students for each of the grades, for each of the course that I encounter. So for example, just like we're updating for the class average, when I pick this one, I have to go through them, look for each of the student that is having these values, compare the values. If I notice that, okay, if I'm on student one, let's start with this one. If I am on this first student, I will say that the top student is this student for this particular course. If I go to the next one now, let's say if I come here and I see 66, I'm going to check if 66 is greater than 90. If it is not greater than 90, then the top student will still remain this first student. I'll keep going until I encounter a value that is greater than this 90. Then for that particular course, the top student is going to be that student. So that is supposed to do for all the students and for all the courses. At the end, this seems like it's going to be a double for loop. So my idea is I'll go through. Yes, let me see. Somebody, is there a question or an answer? All right.
It's a question, sir.
Okay.
So does it mean that we can use a while loop here?
Mm, yeah. Is it a while loop or a for loop or which of them? Any of them. Because we can use um a for loop because we know the total number of items within the grades table. Okay. So while loop is an indefinite loop that we don't know when it's supposed to end. But this one we know that we have to loop till the end of the file or to the till the end of the dictionary. So a for loop could go as well. Miss.
Okay, sir.
So we are going to look through the grades, like I was saying, my idea. We are going to look through the grades, right? Now we will be capturing everything, the student ID, the course ID, and the grade. So for each, we will store the student ID somewhere and then store the course somewhere and then check if this student ID, this particular student's grade is greater than something. So for the first one, we will certainly say that the top student for that particular course is this first student. Until we encounter another course that is having this ID, then we are going to check now whether that particular student for that course, whether the grade is greater than our top student's grade. If it is not greater than, we'll continue. If it is greater than, we are going to now update that the top student is who? The new student that we found that the grade is greater than this one. That's literally my idea. Now, the idea is an idea, but how do we implement that? But wait, do you people get the idea?
Yes, I get the idea.
Suppose you will talk. Do you get the idea? Or does anybody have another idea? This thing that I'm dictating code like that. Any other idea? Hello.
Yes,
Silence.
sir.
Silence means no idea. Janice, you have an idea, or let me go ahead with my idea.
Go ahead with your ideas, sir.
It's my idea. Okay, now. So I'm going to set top
Go ahead with
students.
your idea.
I'm going to set top students to an empty list, and then I'm going to look through the grades. That's the first thing I know that I have to look through the grades. So at least, even if I just do for grade in grades, I'm good. Every other thing we'll start thinking about it. So for grade in self dot grades, I'm going to get the student ID, right? Because what is this? I'm going to get the student ID, and then I'm also going to get the course ID. Come on. Course ID is equal to grade at course ID. Oh, nice. Now I'll just read this and then just continue, even though I don't understand anything there too. But so we capture the well, as we look through the grades, we store what the student ID and the course ID. And then the next thing is we want to check if that grade is already in our top students. Okay. Because this top student is going to store both the grade and the student. So what we are going to do is we are going to check if that particular student or course is already in top students dictionary. That's what we want to check. That means if course ID is not in top students. Okay, so while we are looping, if we encounter a new course that was not already inside the top student, then we just have to set its value within the top student with some default value, I guess. So we're going to say that top students at index of that particular course ID is equal to restore the students. That's going to be that particular student ID and course ID. Do we need a course ID? We don't need a course ID. We need just the grade. So if we don't encounter, like, if we are looking through the grade and we encounter a new course that was not already inside the top student, we just add it up to the top student with the value to be that particular instance. Else, if the course ID was already inside, let me see. Uh, the course ID was already inside, we now go ahead and be checking but they are great. So we can say else if that particular grade at index of the grades, because within here we have a grade column. Okay, so if that particular student's grade, or if that particular grade's grade is greater than the top student's grade, okay, then we have to now update the grade to be the new top student for that particular course. Uh, course top students index of that particular course is equal to this, which is the same. Okay, so this one, what does it do? If we go through, because we are now looking through grade, so if we come to a particular grade and we notice that we had not yet encountered that particular course in our loop, we just add the course to the top student. That's what this does, this first one. Now, if otherwise we encounter a particular course that was already inside and the grade is greater than that top student that we already had for our particular course, then we just update the new top student to be our current student. That's literally what this thing is doing. So at the end now, after this loop, we are going to have some dictionary that is having top students per course. Why is it per course? Because the key is the course ID. Okay, that's literally it. But is this all? If we want to print it out now, we can now just look through the top students dictionary and probably print the value, I think. So for course ID, comma, top students, let me just say students in our top students dot items, you can just go ahead and print the student. So I can first of all just extract the student, print formatted string of the course and the top student and the grade. That will go. So this first loop just does the analysis for us, and we have the top students for each course. Then this second loop just runs through this dictionary and print out the value by printing that, okay, a particular student's name, the course, is that what we have? The particular course, then the top student for that course, then the grade of that student. I did not add the grade here, but you can add the grade. Let me add the grade of student grade, something like that. That is going to run through the top students and print them up. So let me go through this first part again. I think this is the part that you need to understand. This is a normal print. So this one, what does it do? It runs through the grid, like I was saying my idea. If it encounters a course that it had not encountered before, it adds it to this our dictionary that we defined here. Okay. If it encountered a course that it had encountered before, it goes ahead and checks if the grade of that particular course for a student is greater than the previous one that was initially set. If it is greater, it updates the top student for that particular course to be the student that we encountered. That's literally all that this one does. Um, this thing is similar to, let me come back here. It's similar to, let me call this for students, or let's just call it the students. Uh, student is equal to self dot students index of, let's just get that best students ID. Because I want to actually get a real student, like join it to this students dictionary. So now that I have that, I can go ahead and do a print statement that does a formatted string of, let's say, we'll start with the course and course ID. And then the next thing is the top student to be that particular student's name and the grade to be that grade. I don't like this last print statement. Okay, with that, let me check it out. So if you have a question, just feel free to shoot after this. So analyzer dot top student, and there we go. Let me try it. There's no harm if it does not run, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, are you still lost?
Not much.
Okay, please, if you need explanation, just let me know. Where should I explain again?
So this last thing that you do.
This one or the entire method?
No, sir, this one, but I'm guessing.
Okay, so this last part is just me trying to print out the student. Now, the thing is, my top students, I have stored them. After doing this analysis here, I stored the top students. It's actually not students, it's the top grade by student ID. But now I want to link this particular student ID to the student's CSV file because there is a student ID and we have a presumed student name. So I wonder, okay, when I want to print the top students, I don't print by the top students ID, I print by the top students name. Okay, that's why I'm trying to link the grades. Okay, I'm trying to link the grade and the students table because within here I have the student ID that I can link with the students table. This is something that you people are supposed to know after this in data science. You people are supposed to know relationships. That's some sort of databases. I don't know if the advanced people even did that, but you're supposed to know databases. This is CSV files and there's not much relationships, but in most cases, some CSV files can relate with each other. You can have a column that is linking one CSV file to the other. That is exactly what is happening here. Within the grades table, you see that the grades table is actually linking the students, the courses, and the grade because you have student ID. So if I have ID here, 3306, I can go to the students table and look for 3306 and check which student is student 3306. Student, that's it, the name of the student. So that's what I was trying to do. Okay, I'm just trying to establish that relationship. So I look through my top students and then I search within the students table which particular student has that ID. Okay. And I grab the student. That's what this one does. So that when I'm printing here now, I'm now printing the student's name. You get the point?
Yes, sir.
Or you are double lost. Please, any other question? Uh, Rose, the quietness this evening, it's scary. Hello, ladies.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Are we okay? Is it too difficult?
I gave up ever since class to fulfill my just.
Yeah, don't worry. You research and do it. This is now you getting into some small data analysis and data science. Literally, all we've been doing beginner basics.
No,
Now, this is you trying to do should I call it application? Because that's literally it. You have huge data set. It's not just some dictionary of 10 items or 6 items. It's some huge data sets that you have to go through. Okay. I understand it can be, should I say difficult or challenging? Which of them? It's all of them. Docas, talk, let me hear. Docas. She has slept finally. Okay, we are not going to finish all the methods here. We'll continue, but let me just test this one and then run it and then try to explain some things about it. Then we can come and try to implement the last two complex methods. Okay. So let me try to run it and top students, CD, SMS, services, Python, what's the name of the file? Grade analyzer, grade analyzer.py. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we are having some error. The grade here is not student grade. This one is supposed to be this our loop is missing something. So I'm just going to get the top students grade now, not, let's call it the best student grade. That'll go. Okay, so we have, oh, majority of them are having the 99. This method is not fully working. I don't trust it. So for each of the course, it has the particular student that is the highest. So which course is this? He's T37. He has the first student who is this with a grade of 99, which I don't trust. There's supposed to be grades of 100 here. I think this is 100. So yeah, our method is having some issue. We'll check it later. Let me see how many 100s are there. 111. Okay, so top student, top students, top student, top student ID. Students, student ID, and then student name, student ID. Great. Let me check. Okay. Great, great, great. Student ID. Okay. Yeah, we'll check that if I don't believe the analysis is entirely true for this one. Why am I getting only 99? Why is it not 100? And if great and great is greater than top student, course ID great. Yeah, we'll check that. Okay. Yeah, but that's literally first part of the analysis. I'm able to get class average per course, best student per course, and then the next one is we're supposed to generate now a full detailed report of analysis, probably having this, having which other thing will be there though? Uh, a lot of things like the total number of students, the total number of courses, the total grades, the total pass, the total fail, the percentage pass, the percentage fail. That is what the generate report is supposed to do. This method that we have not done yet. This one. Uh, where is it? Generate report. Yup. So you get as it be. You people should try to implement this method. Then we'll discuss it tomorrow. Who agrees?
You, sir.
I ag- These girls, why are you people like that now?
So please post the code on Colab.
That word?
Paste the code on Colab.
Which code?
This one, sir.
I should paste my code.
Consider he's not sharing his code.
Uh, okay, I'm just going to upload this one to WhatsApp for today. Right? I'm nice now. Am I
Yes,
nice
sir.
or not? If you don't,
You are very nice.
well, okay. I see that. I know that this thing is difficult. It's not like even me. I'm having trouble with it. Who told you that there is a pro? Anyway, I've sent the code. We still have two methods. One of the methods to generate the report and display. Let me see if I have some report somewhere. Okay, I'm going to send you people a sample report of what is expected to be generated. Then you people probably figure it out. I know people are astrophones, you know. So I'm sending you report.csv. That is what we expect, like the kind of result we expect at the end. Uh, I would like you people to open that, take a look, and then write the code that will do that. Patience, I should not forget to record what.
So they're begging for the record to be clear.
Okay, okay. Then yeah, damn. I'm already having headache. Imagine. Okay, girls. We are going to probably pause there for today. Okay. We have two additional methods for this grade system. Method one is to generate report. Method two is to export that report to a CSV file and we'll be done with this particular project. Then I expect you people to do the sales. The sales does not have too many data set like the student. Sales report has just sales.csv. So I'm expecting you people to work on that one. But let's finish the students first. People agree, right?
Partially so.
All right, stop looking for trouble. You partially agree. Okay, ladies, what do people think? Who wants to continue data science? Because this is we have already started data science. This same data set, I think next week or so, we will Josiane. Next week or so, we are going to now dive into data science and start using external libraries. Well, it is good when you are able to do this kind of things like think um something like pandas. You just convert this data set into a data frame and then do some stuff with it. You don't have too much computations to do. You'll do it though, but for now you need to know exactly what is happening in the background. Okay, so that is why we are doing this. You get now.
Yes, sir.
These people that are not talking, they must talk. Doctors, you get now.
Yes.
uh I know it's 15 past 12. Sure, where are you coming from?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Ha, where are you coming from? When did you come to class? You came to class at 12.
So I came online like it was really late, but the network has not been stable. It's just after this 12 that my own network is coming stable.
Wow. Okay. Marilyn. Marilyn, how are you?
I'm
You're fine.
fine.
Wow, cool. She's fine. Girls, she's fine.
A round of applause.
Yeah, you know. But please, the reason I asked you people to go through this thing was that when we are in class like this, you people are supposed to be giving me ideas. People were not giving me ideas, and that's not really interactive, you know. Mhm. So it's nice that particularly for these ones that we are trying to practice, but what we've been learning, it's nice that we all talk. I know that today was Friday and it's the last day of the is it the last day of the week? And some people were really exhausted. They had to do all the work of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on Friday. Is that true? Students, don't say true. I'm talking to the workers. Ah,
So,
even the workers are not answering. It's okay now.